Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys.
Kind of a rushed day today.
Doing a podcast via lunch break here.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Busy guy. Yeah, he's got a big appointment today, too. He's, I'm going to tell him if his shoulder's fixed. It's healing properly.
Yeah.
This is where the doctor goes, dude, you didn't break your collarbone.
What do you do? Why?
No, I don't think that's
You're
really
not tough as nails. You
Yeah,
just
what-
didn't break your collarbone.
I looked at
dude.
the x-rays. I definitely was there was definitely two parts that were not touching last week.
Like, sir, look, there was an actual guy we actually refer to as Nails that came in here, accident way worse than yours. Cars rolled multiple times, and we confused your x-rays. And
I would be more than happy.
You have what's known as a, what is it, a hematoma?
Sore vagina.
Yeah. You bruised the upper first layer of skin on your shoulder. We're going to have to
hope.
charge you for, we can't write this off, the fact
Right.
that they gave you a sling.
Right.
So we're going to have to
That's
charge
fine.
you $100 for that.
I would be more than okay with paying.
Our bad.
that. I wish that's what they would
That'd
say.
be
you
a
imagine?
weird case of medical malpractice. You know, he's
Yeah.
walking around in a sling,
for
taking
6
care of
months.
this thing.
I gotta be
Hasn't
honest. I mean, not to ruin the illusion here, but when I couldn't put my arm up a week ago, I feel like that had nothing to do with. I don't think I'm that dumb that I would have just made that up. But
No, we're not saying you. We're saying medical malpractice. Does he have a lawsuit here?
No, but-
If they made him believe he had a broken collarbone
I mean,
bone for a couple
you know,
weeks.
The emotional distress alone.
I mean, you can't
I
sleep,
mean,
right?
I missed
Who can
that.
put a
Missed
number
that
on it?
festival.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone.
Oh, my God. How
I
much?
mi-
Yeah,
I missed
recoup the
hanging
money
out-
for those.
Missed hanging out with the Turtle family. I mean, that's family.
The driving, the inconvenience Francis has gone through, driving your ass
Exactly.
all over town.
Yeah, they could say we saved you some gas, though, and parking money on the festival. So
Oh, could they?
there's probably a happy medium somewhere in there where they can give you a few
Well, those
bucks for the
X-rays they
tickets.
charged me and stuff like that. Would,
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to have to be worked out. This is what we have lawyers for.
It's just
For
the
sure.
worry, the upsettedness, the anxiety caused by it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's
awful.
probably affected his dreams. He's obviously scared to drive now.
Sleepless
He
nights.
hasn't-
Can I throw sleepless nights in
Well,
there?
you're afraid to drive now. You haven't been in
I'm
the
not afraid
car.
to drive.
Well,
You know, some of that is that I don't have a car yet, right? Like I actually do now, kind of.
Got
but
one
we're-
lined up. He's just
Yeah, I mean, it's just not like
what are you getting?
ready yet. It's I got lucky. I kind of got lucky with a situation, but it's going to be a Ford Focus.
What year?
Not terribly new, but the price was
like
very.
the
very
I mean,
Hatchback
where,
kind or
where
the
are you?
four-door?
Like, did you find this online or something?
No,
or-
actually, I'm not gonna. I don't want to
wanna-
get too much into
okay.
it, but just it worked. A friend of a situation, just had a deal where they would say it was just a price that was very good, man.
A friend of a situation.
I know,
had a
well,
deal.
You gotta love when those come about. The friend of a
I
situation.
know, dude. I started talking in my mind, and I realized.
Yeah, you're in a weird position, E, because clearly you don't want to go down this road right
know,
now.
I know.
And so you're trying
know.
to
I'm honestly
caution
speaking
yourself, hold back a
general
little bit,
terms.
and be the front of conversation
I
right now,
understand.
and
It's
leading
really
the
difficult.
discussion. And so it's really put you in an awkward spot.
has.
So
What color we got? Purple? Hot pink? What is it?
Black.
Oh,
wow, Jesus.
5-door?
Four.
3-door? Okay.
5-door with a hatch.
It's not. I mean, it's fine. Like I said. To be honest, the price. We got a really good.
Are you getting
deal on it,
Bluetooth
so
this time around?
I don't think it has that shit. Probably.
No.
It's not old. It's not new enough. I don't think. Which it's out of the range that if I was gonna buy a car, which I had saved up to try to do, it's older than I would have bought. But again,
Mileage is strong. Good.
It's like 122,000 miles on it. So
Okay.
you know what? I'll deal with it, and now I can save a little more and maybe get a nicer one in a year or something instead. So
It'll be a good stopgap.
Yes.
for sure, but that is some of the reason I haven't been driving. Technically, I haven't really had a car. My
Yeah.
dad has a car, and my mom has a car.
Do we have a date
so
for when you can get this car?
it's
alleged car?
It's here. It just has I got to get some new tires on it. I still have to
It's
pay
here.
for that.
It sounds like it was like
Yeah.
brought in on a flatbed. from
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
out
at
of
my
state or
parents. It's at my
something.
parents' house. I mean, it's there. So
Okay. Well, we'll
it's
talk.
ready to go.
Talk off the air a little bit about
Yeah.
it. E. I don't know why this is.
I don't
Shrouded
know.
in mystery,
I
but
don't
whatever,
know.
it's okay.
You know, we had a friend of the my mom, as I've mentioned, works at that finish center, and so a friend of the finish center. My mom was in there saying, you know, my son got in this car accident. He's looking for a new car. And they were just like an older lady who just had one that, like, you know what? I've been
Ooh, a
looking
barn
to get the,
find. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Ian.
been
I love
looking-
it, too.
Been looking to get rid of this fucking thing. We don't drive, you know.
And let's be honest, Jay. I mean, as far as when you think of the finish, you don't think of them as like brutally savage to their vehicles
No.
or trashing vehicles.
I think this car has only gotten
Respectful
This
people.
car
Absolutely.
is one of those cars that, like, on some level is really good because it's one of those people where an old couple has had like 2
Yeah.
cars, and so they've driven it very little, as far as
Very
mileage.
20,000.
Very
Not
lightly,
hard,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
goody.
Not doing a lot of drag racing.
No.
Late night.
No.
Yeah, running over curbs and stuff. That's
Right.
good. Exciting day around here. Are you going to be back here later?
I don't know yet.
Isis,
I don't know.
grind time will be here.
I
and
want to. I don't know. We'll see.
Word is one Chris Draper.
Drapes.
Drapes is in studio tonight. That's
great.
Which is awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun a couple weeks ago having Ozzy in here. Osgood was fantastic.
Yeah,
and
if people haven't listened to
TJ
that
Lang was
episode,
great last week.
If people haven't listened to that Osgood episode, you should. Like, he really, it was not the thing you're going to hear him on 97.1 or when he's
No.
doing the FS1 pregame shows with his tie on.
Yeah.
You're going to
Really
hear
got-
dildos and shit, so.
Got a different view of one Chris Osgood because Darren's told us that for a long time. Like,
Right.
dude, you have no idea. Chris Osgood, you think he's a fucking quiet,
And it's-
meek dude in the background? No, he's fucking
And I should say, not
as
just,
nuts as all of them.
it's not just worth it because he says, like, oh, he's swearing. I mean, legit, he's telling stories that you just wouldn't normally hear.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, oh, here's Chris Osgood say shit. I mean, it's more than that.
Dude, he tied a dildo to a bumper of a car that guy drove
Right.
around the city for 3 days while he was in town with a giant dong hanging
Right,
out. I mean,
right.
that's the kind of classy individual that we get with Chris Osgood. Hopefully, Chris Draper is just as fun
You know,
tonight.
the only thing I look back on it, I wish I would have asked, like, either off the air or told Darren, like, hey, dude, this is something I mean, because just in sports in general, but in this town, how he was treated at times. I mean, a guy who some people think could be in the Hall of Fame, but yet at times just
a lot of people think he should be in the Hall.
right, but just completely like Ozzy and fuck you and just the booze and like, what is that really like? Do you really care? Or does it just you play your game and it's your job and whatever? So
Yeah.
I would have been interested to know that.
Cashing those checks makes it a lot easier
For
to
sure.
deal with. And plus, isn't that like an age-old thing? Like the only thing, what's
Quarterbacks
more
and
abused?
goalies.
Yeah, quarterbacks and goalies in Detroit sports. I mean,
that's probably
it's
most
something
towns
you
that
just
anyone
have to.
cares
It
about.
just comes with the job.
Right.
It is what it is. So, but yeah, his record speaks for itself. So, anyway, look forward to that tonight. Isis, thank you for sending me the story. Although I did have it as well. The viral Venmo beer guy. Pretty incredible story. I see this. It's funny. I don't know why this one took off. The
This
guy.
happened a few years ago, I think.
This isn't that
college
guy, but it
game
did
day.
happen a few years ago.
Yeah,
You're
Oh,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this one.
Well, you see these-
obviously got attention because of what he did after.
Right.
But I don't know why this one initially hit, where everybody was like, "Oh, how clever! Let's contribute to this dude's beer fund."
If you watch,
Why wouldn't kids do it
If-
every
if-
week?
Yeah, I
no,
think
no,
they probably
hold on.
do, right?
That's what I'm going with this. If you watch Game Day on Saturday mornings, like as often as you'll see the Washington flag, which has made an appearance at every single game day they've ever done, you will see some kid with a sign with his Venmo account.
Because it worked 3 years ago.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So why
so
this
why
one
did this
hit?
one?
And he got 200 grand in like a day or something. It was like, what? For, he wanted Busch Light. He wanted
God
Busch
bless
Light.
him.
And he's not a kid. He's 24 years old. He was just going to the game. He was like, oh, well, maybe I can get some beer money or something. And got the sign up there, Carson King, whatever. And he, contribute to my Busch Light or whatever. And, gets all this money. The actual, like, raising of funds ended on the 30th of September. He shut it down, September 30th, and announced on a radio show that the final tally was $2.959 million. Now, that's a little bloated because once it got, the press all got involved.
Some of it was corporate funds. right?
Anheuser-Busch and Venmo both said, well, we'll match, whatever. And so he ended up raising $924,000.
Which he's giving to Children's Hospital, right?
Good move.
In Iowa. That's great. That he wouldn't have raised it without it.
I know, but you could just do a portion of the proceeds. Usually it's a portion of the proceeds.
He wouldn't have raised it. He wouldn't have raised it without it.
He took enough money to get a case of beer.
When did he tell them?
He raised like 30 grand or something off the bat, and then he's like, "Hey, anybody who contributes more, I'm
Okay.
going to give this to Children's Hospital." And that's a
Okay.
big
Right.
thing in Iowa,
think
right?
he-
Where
Yes.
they have the Children's Hospital that can see into the stadium.
By the
Yes.
way, you know what? Pat Green's
University of
song,
Iowa
Wave on
Steed
Wave
Family Children's
is
Hospital.
played when they do the.
Oh, is that
the
right?
Wave to the
What
Kid.
is?
They do. Jay's right. The kids' hospital. They built that, and it happens to be like overlooking their football
Right,
stadium.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's the Steed Family Children's Hospital.
they started
of
doing
Iowa.
a thing where they started waving at the kids from the top of the thing, and they started playing Pat Green's Wave on Wave. And
Really?
Yeah, Pat's been there twice now to sing it live too for the
Really?
kids. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It is kind of badass, actually.
I couldn't even tell you what Pat Green looks like.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
idea.
Like, I have no
he could-
clue what
Sexy
that
as
dude
fuck
looks
is
like.
what he looks like.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
He would bang. Pat Green.
So, yeah, he's been hailed a hero. It's kind of, you know, you would expect this, I think, if you're like a 35-year-old guy, kind of established, wife, couple kids, good job. You don't really need the beer money, and then it's like, all the money raised is going to the. He's 24.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Could
You
he
know
have-
what
It's a remarkable
24?
story.
You need what 24-year-old doesn't be wouldn't at least think like, shit. When I'm peeling 20 grand off the
Well,
top
that's
of
what I was
this,
gonna
and
say.
the rest is all donated.
I wonder if
he took.
could-
Hold on,
Okay.
Jesus. He took enough to grab a case of beer, and then announced quickly.
Everything else is going.
Everything
to the
else is
Children's
going there, and that
Hospital. That's awesome. That's
it-
unbelievable. He
it
wouldn't have
is.
raised another dime had he not done that, though, Mike. But I do give
but
him
he
huge
might have-
credit for not just, like you say, pocketing the 30.
portion of the anything over this. I mean, this is obviously mine, earned, but the rest goes to the hospital. But he like to take all of it and right out of the gate too. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even. And,
Hey, saw
and
an
I think
opportunity.
when it started to tumble, I don't know that it would have necessarily stopped because it started getting comical how much money was coming in, and then it gets more news. And I'm not surprised people wouldn't have thrown in. Can we make it $1 million to this kid's beer fund? Probably not. And obviously, you don't get Anheuser-Busch involved. You don't get Venmo involved. So it works out well. But the whole time I'm thinking, boy, I wonder if he regrets at all, going, poor, you know, all the proceeds.
I mean, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I wonder if he had said at the 30, like, look, I'm a college kid. I'm going to take 5,000 or 10,000 of this, but the 20,000 and anything more is going to. I wonder
Who
if that
knows?
still
It's hard
would
to
have
say.
hit.
It's hard to say.
yeah.
And I mean, the reality is, like, I wonder also. Now, of course, we find out this other
Well,
stuff.
we find out that this great young man is an
Yeah.
awful human being.
Just
after
Well,
all.
garbage.
I mean,
Just not even
masquerading as a great young man.
yeah. Oh, go. We all see through what you're trying to do, fixing your, you know, this background of yours, sir. By do you think you're gonna just throw a few $1 million at a children's hospital, and we're gonna ignore a couple tweets from when you were 16?
Think about that. Like,
Think
it's,
again, buddy.
it's
Well,
like
actually, it did work, because the guy that's getting the shit now is the piece of shit journalist
Yeah.
that did the story. He's the one that's getting his ass handed to him. So, yeah, last week he gets involved in this scandal after this small Iowa journalist digs up 2 racist tweets he'd posted to Twitter back in 2011. King offered a tearful apology for the messages composed when he was 16, which only prompted more people to donate. Meanwhile, the reporter from the Des Moines Register who unearthed these racist tweets no longer works for the paper after it was revealed that he himself had shared some troubling Twitter
Oh
posts.
no, glass
Oh,
houses. Huh?
wow.
Jesus.
wow.
What's that about pots and kettles they always talk about?
Just
Yeah.
wow.
So they
Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
isn't that crazy how that works? The Des Moines Register faced major backlash after exposing King's tweets last week. Many
Why do anything in this life anymore?
I know.
What like why succeed at anything? Just stay in some middle ground where nobody knows who you are, but you're comfortable. Like why?
Where your racist tweets can just sit
Right,
and
right,
not be
just like-
exposed.
Yeah, well, it's you worry about this with your kids. When you know what it's like to have young people and their non-fully developed brains thinking something's a great idea in the moment. And it's like, you know what? Before you put that on something that's going to be there forever, you really need to think about this shit. And it's probably better for kids to have these examples to go, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Here's a guy that's raised over, $3 million for the children's charity, and people are still trying to take him down to Chinatown.
I wonder if the people that are like, and I'm not saying the tweets. I don't know if I remember. I just saw what they were about. I didn't actually see them, but I saw what they were about. But I wonder if the people that are outraged over him, like, should the money be given back to the people? Like,
Take it away from the kids.
right? Like,
Here's the
Give
thing.
it to his victims.
He played this this is a pretty amazing young man, Carson King, at 24 years old. Not only the donation, but the way he handled this when it came out. He immediately owned up to it and was like, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember these. I know, looking into it, we were kids quoting Tosh.0 and stuff like that, jokes that we thought were funny. I'm disgusted with myself that I even thought this was funny at the time, blah, blah, blah. And it was so heartfelt that people went, you know what, fuck you, Iowa Des Moines Register or whatever, for
Right.
just stirring shit up. That's what you're doing. So, one wrote, PC culture has done it again, turned a young man raising over $1 million for the UI Children's Hospital into digging up his past. I find the way the Des Moines Register has handled this to be disgraceful. You should be ashamed. Even New York Magazine contributor Yasser Ali, who loves to fucking hammer anybody that, whatever, he even got involved and said, if Carson King had been defiant about the 2 tweets when he was 16 or doubled down, I would get why the Register would mention them. But according to the paper, he was deeply remorseful. I fail to see how it was newsworthy, especially given the good work he's been doing. So a few hours go by, and people went, oh, well, let's see what this reporter's
I
all
mean,
about,
why
Aaron
not?
Calvin. Oh, here's some homo and racist tweets from him.
Oh, wow.
Oops. Yasser Ali chimes in again. Hey, if you're going to pull up someone's old tweets, write about them, and you have old racist tweets of your own, at least have the courage to take the heat, Aaron Calvin. Taking your account private is cowardly. And so, I love
Awesome. It's my favorite. This is my favorite. I will never get tired.
Yeah, because no one's
of
perfect,
the,
right?
Of the eating of it. Yeah, the eating its own. The fact that nobody is perfect. And
Not
you know,
saying everyone has racist
Right,
tweets
of
in their
course
background,
not.
but nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But even the other funny thing is, like, he mentions, I gotta be honest, he mentions that he's quoting Tosh.0. Should we be going after Tosh.0?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Tosh
I mean,
needs to be
how
taken
does he
down.
get
Yeah,
out of this? Like-
Tosh
absolutely.
needs to answer for this.
So
Stat.
the reporter is now being interviewed by ABC News and shit since he's been fighting. Oh, I've been unfairly cast as a bully and a villain.
Have you really?
Have you really?
Isn't that what
She's
you
gonna-
were doing?
A routine background check of King's social media revealed 2 racist jokes, one comparing black mothers to gorillas, and another making light of black people killed in the Holocaust. The joke tweets go back to 2012 when King was a 16-year-old high school student. The executive editor of the Register has come out in a editorial, Carol Hunter, and she's trying to justify running these tweets, because it's just got a job to do. Register editors discussed at length whether to include information about the tweets and King's remorse in our profile. We ultimately decided to include a few paragraphs at the bottom of the story.
As if by putting them at the bottom, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we put them in, but we put them at the bottom, so we figured
Yeah.
this was okay.
So
Like-
all you need to read is the top and the bottom. You can negate the middle of articles. Just the top paragraph and the bottom paragraph is
Right.
really where you're going to get all your information.
So he wasn't completely ambushed by a story of these tweets. He was asked about them. He commented on them. He expressed remorse immediately, and they put all that just at the bottom of the.
I think so, something like that. I didn't read the actual newspaper article, but yeah. As for Calvin, he's no longer with the Register. When I discovered the racist tweets published by him in high school, I went to him and got a statement from him before including him including them. Oh no, as for Calvin, Hunter wrote that he is no longer with the Register. When I discovered the racist tweets published by King, I went to him, got a statement from him before including them at the end of an overwhelmingly positive profile that briefly addresses and contextualizes these tweets. I did this with the full cooperation of my editorial supervisors at the Register. I perform my job as a journalist responsibly and treated King with respect and the benefit of the doubt as a subject. He's received many threats, including
well, but
wanting him to kill himself and death threats. Lots of others. My former coworkers at the Register also received many death threats, along with a tide of unearned anger. Well,
So
yeah,
is he
people,
ju- I
people
don't
are kind of
understand,
tired of
it's
it.
just
People
like-
people see through what this was, sir.
You're trying to cancel the dude.
Yeah.
he's just okay. So he sits there and I treated him with respect, and he's just supposed to like. So you had homophobic tweets and racist tweets, and those just shouldn't come out. And
This whole
any-
thing is just a great example because this kid did an undeniably great thing.
Right.
Yes.
Kid, we say, 24-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Did a great thing. Like you say at the beginning, he didn't try to skim a little bit off the top. He just said, hey, all of it is going.
He skimmed a case of beer.
And okay,
for
so
the record.
And he let this thing just run, and he built this $2 million, $3 million dollars.
At the end of the day, with the
Almost $3 million
like 2.95 million. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And so it's just such a stark example
And it's-
of I'm gonna fucking ruin that guy. Really? You're gonna ruin that guy?
he
Let's
did
take
it with
him down a
respect,
notch.
Jay. Come on,
That
he did it
guy-
with respect.
But most of the story was overwhelmingly positive, until you shit all over him and
do
mention
overly
these-
well-meaning positive stuff about O.J. Simpson. I mean, if you wanted to, I'm sure technically he gave a lot of money to charity.
He
and
did, of course
people
he
probably
did.
have nice stories about him. And then at the end, oh, by the way, he may have killed 2 people. But
Yeah.
I mean,
it's we see what this is, and the thing is that can't be ignored. Also, we've mentioned a couple times is he did this completely on his own, not with some egging on of people like, oh, don't you think you've raised enough for your beer funds? Maybe give some back to the church. Like he did all that on his own,
Yeah.
all of it right away. You know what? I'm not keeping a penny of this shit. I got my case of beer, haha, the joke. And then whatever we raise, and then does interviews to promote it.
Struck while the iron was hot.
Yes, took advantage of it and has been, running this thing for a month straight. And now it sits at $3 million, and that's the guy you're gonna like.
But this shithead journalist saw an opportunity, man. He saw an open lane.
The reporter, by the way, says although he does not think it's fair that he was publicly pushed from his job, I am still a straight white man who has enjoyed a great deal of privilege in my life due to this fact this fact of my birth and what I have suffered through this ordeal does not compare with what journalists of women, LGBTQ,
Oh, of course.
people of color suffer on a much more routine basis.
Did anybody say it was, dude? I mean, he
Yeah.
just needs to throw that in his boilerplate.
Yes.
For anyone wondering if I've suffered enough, I haven't.
I haven't. I mean, blacks.
Yeah. Women.
His
Women,
suffering doesn't even
gays.
have anything to do with his tweets either. His suffering is just that something happened to him.
Before you all,
No, he's an opportunistic asshole.
Right.
That's what his suffering is due to.
before we woe is me too much here, and while I was wrongfully pushed aside,
Nobody was.
you can't ignore the fact that I am in fact straight, white, and male. So I needed to be canceled.
In fairness,
Fuck,
I
dude.
shouldn't have even had my job in the beginning. So I'm good thing I even
Fairness.
got it for a little bit.
King, so Calvin, the guy that donated the money, made the apology rounds too. I'm embarrassed and stunned to reflect on what I thought was funny when I was 16 years old. I want to sincerely apologize. Social media has the power to bring people together for the common good, but that it can also make your life very public. That's why I wanted to share with you guys that 8 years ago when I was a sophomore in high school, I made some social media posts to my friends that quoted and referenced the show Tosh.0. Tosh is probably like, really, motherfucker? Really? Thanks.
You couldn't have just said a popular show.
Pop culture, TV at the time,
Something I
Tosh.0.
saw on TV. Yeah, something I saw on TV.
Really, dude? Really? I'm just coming back for a new season. Really?
Then people, you know what though? Then people are like, who? Who was it? Let's look at the
No,
quotes.
they would have just DuckDuckGo'd it. They put the phrase into DuckDuckGo and found it.
Thankfully, high school kids grow up and hopefully become responsible and caring adults. Sharing this with you guys tonight because I feel a responsibility to all the people who've donated money to the cause. I can't go back and improve and change what I posted when I was 16 years old, but I can apologize and work to improve myself every day and make a meaningful difference in people's lives.
There you go.
Win.
Win.
Calvin King for the win. Anheuser-Busch makes it very clear.
Oh boy.
We will no
they
longer
pro or
work
get-
with King.
Yeah.
Okay, King is canceled as far as the beer company goes.
We're not going to grab the cash out from the little kid's hands that
Right.
we gave. However, we're done.
Carson King had multiple social media posts that do not align with our values as a brand or as a company, and we will have no further association with him. We are honoring our commitment because we are noble people, of course.
Jesus Christ.
Donating
could you
money to the
blow
University of
yourself
Iowa
anymore?
hospitals and clinics. It's like, okay, you
We'd
work-
rather he not even drink our shitty beer anymore.
Yeah.
Ever.
like most of the country has moved
Yeah,
on
we'll put
to
a face of
less
him
shitty
up
beer.
at all the liquor stores, and if this guy tries to get Butter Bud Light, out.
I kind of feel like, you know what, Anheuser-Busch should get some shit thrown at them too. You know what I mean?
They
You're
should have
gonna-
vetted
you're
him
gonna-
before they
you're
gave
gonna-
this money.
No, you're going to take the moral high ground here. Whoa, we can't be a... Dude, you sell cheap-ass fucking beer. That's what you do. You know what I mean? People have died because of your product, sir. You know how many lives have been ruined and upended?
Hey, they
because
always
of-
say at the end, drink responsibly.
Right.
Think about
They
how
always
many...
say that.
Always.
Always. Well, that's true. Think about...
Very quietly.
Think
Plus,
about...
they got the horses. The horses are beautiful.
Fucking Clydesdales. Oh, they're just
magnificent.
gorgeous. Think about how many less racist statements would have been made through the history of time if not for Anheuser-Busch.
Well, think about this. What do
Think about
Okay.
that for a second. Think about how many people have gotten shit-faced and then popped off at the mouth or on Twitter and said shit that they fucking regret the next morning. Probably more than not.
All because of Anheuser.
Now this is
Because of
against,
Anheuser-Busch.
This goes
Although they do say drink responsibly.
so this goes against their more whatever. Well, how far back do we have to go to watch commercials of them just flat out showing chicks, in bikinis and going, this beer will fucking
the Swedish
I mean-
bikini team, I believe, was a
absolutely.
Anheuser-Busch
right.
production.
So it's like
Spuds McKenzie and his crew.
Oh, absolutely.
like flat out just using titties to sell beer. But I guess that was okay.
Frogs. They've absolutely.
Frogs.
Those Bud Wise. Was it? We had to go through the was it
We
period.
suffered through what's up.
We suffered through was it.
Things used to be like now it's like kind of things just come and go so fast because of social media. But back then, like it would like your boss would, I didn't have it, but I'm sure like at offices there must have been bosses coming and going,
What's up?
Was
It'd just be
it?
Dude, the thing I think of whenever I hear the what's up is when Mateen Cleaves took the mic at like the celebration at East Lansing after winning the national
Yeah.
championship, and his first phrase was "What's up?" And I thought to myself, "Holy shit, dude, that's
not
gonna
gonna
be
play well.
memorialized for decades."
Yeah.
and people look back on that and just be like, "What the fuck was that, man? What's up?"
Dude, can't you see in the moment, like, look, was up, it was tempting. Because it was, was it? But you got to know, I mean, where's the beef of the
Yes.
day. You know what I mean?
Very
Like,
time sensitive.
yes, this is not going to have staying power. It's just not. You know what I mean?
Can't say this on camera.
Yeah. Dude, I would argue the hashtag Me Too movement is way less serious without the input of Anheuser-Busch. Think about how many assaults have, I mean, Stanford, would argue without the input of Anheuser-Busch and their brethren, that dumpster still sits gorgeously on that campus surrounded by pine needles.
We don't know what he was drinking, Mike.
I'm just saying. Spirits were involved.
I believe they were.
So for them to get on their high horse,
Speaking of spirits, hey, Hamlin Pubs, they're inviting you to their 6 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pubs' great food, their drinks, their atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies or out for a meal with the family, it's always a great time at Hamlin Pubs, Rochester, Clarkson, Chesterfield, 2 Shelby Township locations, and of course, their newest location in Richmond.
speaking of the woke culture, the cancel culture, I was reading, Todd Phillips is doing the rounds of interviews now because he is the co-writer and director of Joker, the movie Joker, that's coming out the 4th. Is that Thursday, Friday? One of those? Today's what, the 1st, 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2nd. So a couple days. So it's coming out on Friday. And you excited to see it? I kind of am, but I don't know
I
if
do
I
want to
actually
see it. I
think
don't
I'm
know that
gonna
I'm going
see
to
this
run
one.
to the theater and see it.
Yeah, I might actually saunter over to a theater and see it.
Only reason I'm interested, because I know we all talk about how none of us are really superhero buffs, but when we watched the trailer, it did seem
It's not like a superhero movie.
Right,
It's not
it
the
seemed like
CGI.
story-
No,
it's
no,
more
no.
of a psychological drama.
right,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
story based on like
Watching
how
a
this
guy crack mentally and turn into a sociopath.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a cool storyline, and but anyway, that's not the point of the story. But he has been given a lot of interviews, and people remember Todd Phillips from his other movies, The Hangover, okay, the trilogy, The Hangover, Old School, Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch. Really kind of built a name for himself as like the raunchy comedy guy, and he's not doing those anymore. And he's like, not because he's tackling the comic book genre now, but because he says like you can't be funny anymore. He's talking to Vanity Fair and he says it's unlikely he'll go back to making his comedies anytime soon. Go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture. There were articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why. Because all the fucking funny guys are like, fuck this shit because I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you just go, I'm out. Fuck it, I'm out. And you know what? With all my comedies, I think that what comedies in general all have in common is they're irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent but fuck comedy? Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this. And so that's really where that came from. So again, Joker, October 4th.
That's bummer. That's a bummer.
It's sad, man. That's too bad. And I was on Twitter when I first saw this story because it was trending that he was doing this.
What were people saying?
Well, he's white and male. Keep that in mind. So he is getting his ass handed to him on Twitter because, oh, poor little baby can't fucking, poor little white male can't write offensive jokes anymore without being called out by people. He's so now it's just the same thing.
I don't think
People,
that's what he was saying, though. You know what I mean?
it doesn't matter. No, that's
Yeah.
what Twitter interpreted as.
Okay.
Yeah, and so same thing as us. Where it used to be get off my lawn made you cranky old man down the block. Now anybody that's not a millennial is just an old man now, just an old man, angry white man who doesn't get it, that his day is over, and you can't just offend people and be funny like that. It's over, and it's like yeah, he's kind of got a point though, doesn't he? You're gonna actually say, for the record, here's the real problem with Todd Phillips. Nothing he's ever done is funny, okay? And it's like, okay, The Hangover's not funny,
I
Old
didn't see
School's not
Starsky and
funny.
Hutch. Can't speak to that, but
I think
Hangover
I did. Was
awesome.
Starsky? Was that
I didn't see
Ben
it,
Stiller?
was
Owen
Dak-
Wilson, I think.
Oh yeah. I was thinking it was Dax.
Well, I don't know
Chips.
I don't remember what he was
The
in
Chips.
Old School or Road Trip, but those were both funny.
writer
Old
and
School is
director.
awesome.
Oh, writer and director of those? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good shit.
Or co-writer and
Okay.
director. Yeah, I mean, dude,
Borat.
Borat.
When I looked Todd Phillips movies
Oh.
on here.
What does it
That's
say he
goddamn
was? He
genius.
was not a director on Borat, I don't think.
I don't know, but like,
That's the other dude.
under here. Let's see what it says here. Because it definitely listed it.
Black Flags. Oh, Black Flags. Sorry.
Oh, you can't say that shit.
Maybe. I mean, where is it? Shit.
Oh, easy.
Well, no. If you look at
Oh,
it, if you
Jesus.
look at this, like I look Todd Phillips movies, and I roll down here.
A Star is Born. I would think they would mention that and everything.
I don't. So maybe these are. Is it possible?
Are these just movies he's seen?
This guy's highly successful.
Yeah, right. And I think, if your argument against him is it's not funny.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, they were funny. Old School was fucking funny.
Yeah, and are they all going to hold up? No. And if you watch them now, I watch some of those movies now, and I'm like, oh, god damn, you could not say that today. Just couldn't. Even a movie from a couple years ago. Taking homo and retard out of movies, that's new. Homo and retard was flung around virtually
Willy-nilly.
willy-nilly. I'm not going to say totally willy-nilly, but up to and close to willy-nilly. And you can't do that now. And so some of those come off as really kind of,
Boorish.
the day of celebrating the fucking school jock asswipe doesn't hold as well as it once did. You know what I mean? Like that.
But it's funny because they
Following
still
that.
try to
Like,
do
what
it
do you-
they just try to do it the other way.
Well,
with
you got the
having a nerd.
popular kid who's kind of a douche or a dick in high school, makes all the jokes. Like that movie
gotcha.
comes off as more white privilege, boorish. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the thing is, though, it's still comedy, and they just switch that to having like the nerds be cool, but the jokes are. It's like you still have to have jokes. There
Yeah.
still has to be something in there that's funny, I guess, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, can you do that if you don't have the guy to pick on or the stereotype to make fun of? You know what I mean? Like, where does it go?
I
You know what I mean? Where do you go with, I'm trying to think of, what's this shit? I won't remember the name of it, but some of those where it's like you've got the kid trying to buy beer, he's underage.
right.
What the
Oh.
fuck's that movie? Jonah Hill and
MacGuffin.
yeah,
Not
McLovin.
McLovin, yeah.
Like you need a McLovin character to
Yeah.
get his ass handed to him through the whole movie
Yep.
to be the hero later. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it. But I bet if you watch that now, it would come off as really.
Super Bad is fucking good. I don't care what the fucking anyone tells me.
I know. Well, that's your
Right.
privilege speaking.
I
It's your
certainly-
privilege speaking loud and clear. Did you see the update on Killer Cop White? Excuse me, almost misidentified her.
Amber?
White Killer Cop Amber
No,
Geiger.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, they got her booking photo and people are just celebrating. She's got tears in her little eyes and blonde hair and struffs. Prosecutors revealed that she joked about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s death and made critical comments about serving with black officers in text messages.
Oh, Amber.
I read these, and while, you can read into them, I don't know. Does this make someone a murderer? I'm not willing to go there. Apparently the jury was.
Let's hear it.
The showing of the messages was intended to reveal her lack of sensitivity towards black people. Text message includes an exchange from January 15th, 2018, when she was working security during the Dallas Martin Luther King Jr. Day parade. When asked, so someone texts her, hey, when's the parade going to be over? When MLK is dead, ... Oh, comma, wait. Stupid joke.
That's a terrible joke, to be honest.
I mean, he's already dead. That's the whole point of the parade is in remembrance of Martin Luther King, who died,
That's a.
was shot dead in Tennessee in the 60s or whatever.
I would
70s.
go as far as like I think I'm outraged because I think that's really stupid. I think that's a dumb.
Do you give her
you could be
credit for
better.
going for it, trying to be funny? I mean, maybe she's just
No, because I think if
historically
you're gonna-
very, very unfunny.
No, I think because if you're gonna go that route, it better be funny. It better
Yeah, that
really
just
be
didn't
good.
Doesn't even make any sort of. It's not clever at all. Oh, when he's dead. Oh, whoa, wait.
When's the parade going to be over? When MLK is dead? Oh, wait.
That's just
Yeah, I don't give her credit. I think you
ridiculously
got.
dumb.
It's yeah, but
There's
racist.
no JP either.
I'm not
No,
going to
no.
give her JP either.
No,
Let's
she could
be
be
clear
at,
about
she
that.
could be at any parade and make a similarly
Right,
ridiculous, insensitive
President's Day parade
statement.
or something. I
and
don't know if they have
and the
President's Day.
joke. I mean, someone needs to explain to her that no matter what the parade she was at was, if it's memorializing someone, at no point does your response make any sense whatsoever.
Makes no sense.
It's not funny. Fine, go for the attempt, but it doesn't on its
Nonsensical.
completely. So then, after an exchange, she later deleted with her ex-lover and police partner, Martin Rivera. He texted her, "Damn, I was at this area with 5 different black officers. Not racist, but damn." She replied, "Not racist, but just have a different way of working. And it shows." You're walking that line there. I get what you're saying. I get what your exchange is. There's a certain professional way that officers work, but these black guys, boy, do they do it different. I saw one twerking with someone in the parade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these two who are boning each other have
Yeah.
legs to stand on here,
Right.
right? Yeah, those people can't do the work.
On September 4th, and I'm going to read this, the exact wording that the story has, Jake, 'cause I'm having a little bit of trouble putting it into, like, seeing, like, did she do something bad, or did someone else? Like, what is she?
Okay.
September 4th, 2018, just days before Geiger shot Jean, she received a message suggesting that she would like a German Shepherd that the messenger claimed was racist.
What?
She's
this-
like a German Shepherd that the messenger. Hey, I got this German Shepherd that's racist. You want it? Yeah. Is that the exchange?
I don't know that she
just received-
she texted back that she hates everything and everyone but y'all. So I don't know what that means. So I'm assuming obviously the German Shepherd is a reference to the German Shepherd and the fire hoses in the 60s police officer attacking black people. The famous photo of the
I
guy
don't know
being
that
bit.
anything is obvious here, but sure.
I mean, what else could you say? She would like a German Shepherd that the messenger claimed was racist. I mean, that's got to be some sort of reference to the famous photograph, right?
Well, no, I think that you could easily, like, the messenger. Who's the messenger? Another text message, you mean?
Yeah.
So he could have.
Someone sent that to
okay, so
her.
that guy could have been like, "Oh, dude, crazy! I got this dog, and he goes
Fucking
crazy after
bites
black
black
people,
people."
right?"
Yeah.
And she could have been like, "Yep, I want him."
No, she's texted back. She hates everything and everyone but y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't.
Some of her social media posts. That's why I wanted to read.
I don't think
the full
these nailed down her racism.
I don't either. They certainly lean towards why? It's not smart, but if that's gonna get you in a lot of trouble, then I'm finished. I'll just say that right now. Right now. Some of her social media posts were also shown in court. Among the evidence of the court were copies of social media posts saved and posted by Geiger. Yeah, I got me a gun, a shovel, and gloves. If I were you, back the fuck up and get out of my fucking ass. She shared a meme that read, "Stay low, go fast, kill first, die last. One shot, one kill, no luck, all skill." When you put that in the context of, yeah, she actually not one shot, two shots to kill a man eating a bowl of ice cream, vanilla. It looks bad, but
I
you
don't
see
really-
these.
I know,
You
dude,
see
I
these
know.
on police fucking boards all the time about, or she shared
you're
another one.
right.
People are so ungrateful. No one thanks me for ever having the patience not to kill them.
That doesn't bother
I
me.
have.
That's
I
what
know
you're
lots of
saying.
people that would post
Like,
something like that. Lots.
I,
Hyperbole.
Yeah,
Yes.
that doesn't bother me. Like you said, I think that there's jobs that people have that, like, if you're a nurse or a doctor, that you go through so much, like, dealing with shit, that amongst yourselves, you're going to have things that you say to each other, but you're not really
Yeah, that would
fucking...
sound horrific to
yeah,
people
but,
on
like,
the
dude, they
outside.
have to get through the day. They're freaking going from sick person to sick person, and they have to sometimes be like, oh, at least it's only one gun wound or... I don't know, something.
Yeah. Well, it all becomes highlighted and used as a weapon when you shoot at a black man in his own apartment
I
eating
know,
a bowl
I
of
know.
vanilla ice cream. Then up until that point,
But, like, that could be said, like, so would you say...
I know, dude.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, I
if
know,
I
I'm-
go and fucking shoot a black family, shit that's said on this show is not going to look good in my favor. I'm going to look like an
Right.
absolute monster.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm not a monster, and I don't plan on shooting any families, let alone a black one. For the record.
Let alone...
During her testimony, and this might be where she gets it, dude, because we were talking about the definition of murder. They don't use the term first degree murder in Texas, so that's why it's just murder and not first degree murder. Same thing though, which is intent to murder. So she reenacted the moment that she put her key in the door, but it was already open. She immediately drew a gun because she thought someone was in her home. She testified that she was scared to death when she opened the door and fully saw a silhouetted figure standing in the darkness inside. She shouted, "Let me see your hands, let me see your hands." She couldn't see his hands. He starts coming towards her at a fast-paced walk, yelling, "Hey, hey, hey," in an aggressive voice.
That's
when
one
she,
wood, right?
what-
Right.
Yeah,
That's one wood.
fuck out of my house, man. What?
What the fuck you doing?
That's when she fired a gun twice. I was scared he was going to kill me. She said she intended to kill him when she pulled the trigger because that's what she'd been trained to do as a police officer.
There you go.
I don't know if you should,
I wouldn't be
well, I
saying
wanted
that.
to-
Never ever put your lying guilty defendant on the stand.
When asked how she felt about killing an innocent man, she said no police officer would ever want to hurt an innocent person. I don't know if that's necessarily true. For the majority, that's true. I feel like a terrible person. I feel like a piece of craps. I hate that I have to live with this every single day of my life. I feel like I don't deserve a chance to be with my family and friends. I wish he was the one with the gun and it killed me. I never wanted to take an innocent person's life. I'm so sorry.
No, he was the one with the bowl of delicious vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. This is not about hate. It's about being scared that night. And I don't know. It
Yeah,
doesn't-
it's plausible. Jury didn't find it so, but
Yeah, I know. It's too bad. It's too bad because my guess is had it been a white guy having a bowl of chocolate ice cream in his apartment, might have been, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that would have changed the narrative. I bet my guess is it would have, and she would have been granted the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, it certainly wouldn't have gotten this much press.
Right. It doesn't help either that Botham Jean, native of St. Lucia.
He's a hell of a guy.
Oh, he's working at Price
prince.
Waterhouse Coopers. He'd come to the U.S. after winning a place at Harding University so he could remain with a religious community while getting his education. At his funeral, he was described as talented and passionate man who excelled at everything and worked with orphans.
Everything, E. Everything.
right.
Worked with orphans.
E. Have
I mean,
you worked with
literally-
orphans,
right,
E?
literally, like, holy shit.
He confided in his uncle that he might one day want to be prime minister of St. Lucia. Our Prince Royal was snatched from us by this quick-to-trigger finger of one trained to protect and serve. So,
Who's looking at dick pics moments before.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole lead up with that shit couldn't have helped.
Hers?
Yeah, this whole like,
Yeah.
hey, 13.5-hour shift, tired as hell, and at the same time you're like, yeah, I'm so horny and all that shit.
Yeah, I'm so horny. You want to touch? You want to touch this? Yeah, it doesn't look good, but they did this. They did a little smearing of Botham Jean as well. Remember, a big old pothead.
Oh, right.
They found a roach in a
Yeah.
can in his kitchen or something. And of course. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, hey, as mentioned yesterday, Twin Peaks wants to give a TDC listener a $100 gift card. Here's the deal. You got to show them support on Instagram. So during the month of October, simply post an Instagram picture, including Twin Peaks food and or beer. You'll be entered into to win the $100 gift card. You got to tag the Detroit Cast and also tag the Twin Peaks location that you're visiting. So Livonia, Southgate, Madison Heights, or Toledo.
Sounds good. President Trump. Pretty funny, man. There's a book coming out this week. I want to order it. It comes out on October 8th.
This is a great one.
Yeah, I mean, it really.
I mean, I'm not saying
boy.
that the book is anything special, but this
story.
notion of what he wanted to do at the southern border.
Yeah, it's a book about border wars. I think it's called. It's called Border Wars. It's written by a couple reporters, New York Times and Washington correspondent, Michael Shear and Julie Davis, published by Simon & Schuster, October 8th. So some excerpts of the book were put out in the on the Times website yesterday. One idea he proposed included a snake or alligator-filled trench at the southern border.
Fucking moat, E.
Dude, fucking dope would a moat be.
Awesome.
Alligators and snakes.
I want to hear the
Hold
audio.
on,
Right.
I've
Why don't
got
we
an
just
idea.
promote
He's basically
man-eaters? I want man-eaters.
man-eaters. Does anyone know anything about that plant that eats people from that one movie? It was great. The musical Rocky Horror Picture Show. Can we get a screening?
God, I'd love to have been in there when this was.
Dude, it sounds like he just keeps kicking the door in with new ideas. He's coming up with new ideas. And it's like, what about a moat? Okay.
The moat can have a drawbridge. I mean, or
Well, he did advertise a big, beautiful door at one point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
big-
But he also wanted spikes, right? Like,
Well,
flesh
yes.
puncturing spikes.
He wanted he was wondering if could we make it electrifying so that anyone touches it they get electrocuted.
Just spitballing here.
Yeah, he's just throwing out ideas. What about adding spikes at the tip that could pierce human flesh, please, so people can't climb over it? He talked about border patrol agents. Wait, hold on, I got one. How about we have our agents throw rocks at the migrants?
no.
And he was just like, shoot him.
He backed off when staff informed him, sir, that's highly illegal. You cannot have.
Okay, we can't throw rocks. Let's shoot him.
Fine. Let me think on it some more. Comes back in.
It's highly illegal.
What about he actually brought up the idea, how about we shoot migrants in the legs to slow them? We slow them down as they make a dash for the U.S. Aides had to inform him that was also highly illegal to shoot migrants. What? Back in May, Trump was micromanaging the border wall's construction to the smallest details, including, I want it painted flat black. That way it gets really hot in the summer, and anyone touches it burns.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, except they're like, yeah, that's an added $1 million a mile in paint, sir.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can't do that. He decided he considered a design plan that included a field-tested anti-climbing surface and rounded metal cylinders, but he said, I don't like the appearance. It looks too pussy weak. We want spikes, something intimidating. Spikes would cut climbers' hands and be more effective in deterring them. So it'd be harder for them to cross, but also it would be visually appealing and threatening, menacing. Then Secretary of Homeland Security Kirsten Nielsen found herself being the ones that had to constantly tell the president that he couldn't have what he wanted. No, sir, flat black paint, it's $1 million a mile. You can't do that. And when he wanted wall construction to be sped up, she told him he would need to obtain permission from landowners. Like, you can't, sir, you can't just go across people's land. I mean, the border cuts all over the place. So we need to have discussions. How about we just take the land and then they can sue us? That was his suggestion. And when she tried to turn the conversation away from incessant ranting about the border wall, the president would condescendingly call her honey and sweetheart. So there's a briefing on the legal authority to take down drones. Trump cut her off in the middle of her sentence. Kirsten, you didn't hear me the first time, honey. Shoot him down, sweetheart. Just shoot him out of the sky. Okay, Bigley, next.
Oh my God,
dude, how funny.
Moat. I love the moat.
I know the moat's the best.
Just stock it with alligators.
I mean, what else could he have come? Like, honestly, what else could he have come up with?
Sharks. Sharks would be better.
Piranhas, fire ants.
I mean, this is like
How long would it
Dr.
take-
Evil like stuff. Like this, not like an evil in a sense, but it's like it's a movie. Like,
could you see
I mean,
him?
Strange times, E.
What does he think would happen to, by the way, like once he's not president? Does he think the alligators, like he's going to write it in that these alligators have to still be like part of the defense?
Yeah, it's part of our
like-
defense team now. Is
right.
12-foot alligators
Like-
across the border.
Hopefully going they'll forward?
eat those brown babies and parents. Teach them a lesson. What about we get if we can't do the moat with snakes and with alligators, which I still think we should consider. What about a fire moat? Like the Olympic flame that never goes out. Can we get a 2,000-mile flame that never goes
There you
out?
go. Why not?
What if they show up with a fire extinguisher, sir? Well, that's why I'm back to the alligators and the snakes. It's just so funny. I mean, and it sounds like the people in this book are like a lot of people from the White House staff and shit who have given quotes, and I'll give him. He's trying.
No
He's
idea is
thinking
a dumb
outside the
idea
box,
during a
man.
brainstorming session.
And it says right here, and I don't like this very much. During a private March meeting with White House advisors, the president, blah blah blah. So he's, I mean, if he's going to be shamed, he's trying. He's trying to come up with
amongst his
solutions.
people.
And let's be honest. Anyone listening and anyone in this room right now that has not thought about how dope a fucking moat would be at their own house or somewhere, everybody loves a good moat. So for the president to be thinking that big outside the box, having a 2,000-mile moat filled with alligators and snakes, I mean, give him credit for that one. Can we just throw rocks at my... You're going to have fucking border agents whipping rocks
What are they
at
gonna have?
migrants.
Like, are they going to have like a thing along
Satchel?
a satchel? Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Rocks.
official government throwing rocks. Like who's
Yeah,
gonna,
good throwing rocks.
who's gonna is someone gonna have that be their job?
It'll create a new industry at the quarry to come up with the best rocks,
Will they-
perfect size.
Right? Will they say USA on them or something? Will they have to be
Hell yeah,
printed?
border patrol, Homeland Security.
Or will they be able to just pick up rocks? Like,
And so
will they
what?
be on
So
them?
what? You start your shift every day, and you go grab your bucket. You go out to your post. You got my full bucket. Nice job, Bill. I can tell you've been whipping a lot of rocks. Your bucket's only half full now. Fuck. You have to
Rocks
teach people how to throw. Throwing a rock at someone. I mean, dude, like the idea that
Could
you're
easily miss.
I mean,
very
it's
easily.
if you bean someone, fucking amazing. That would be the best feeling ever. But let's be honest. You get some fucking sweetheart on the fucking border just throwing rocks all girl arm style.
Imagine them like avoiding it. Like we're just two guys just chucking rocks and they just go right past them. And, they're just
And
like,
you know
oh,
that,
well.
how cool would it be too? The infrared video that you get at the border, and you just see human bodies. You just see that girl arm throw, just whipping rock after rock at some migrant family trying to climb over a fence.
Did you guys ever throw rocks as kids?
Sure.
It was very frowned upon by my parents and by good parents in my neighborhood. It
Yeah,
was sort of
agreed.
like you defined the bad kids by, oh yeah, someone saw them smoking and throwing rocks.
True. Well,
Right?
there
Throwing
were
rocks was like it defined you.
It did, and there was only a certain type of kid. Now, let's be clear.
You could throw them at a sign.
Well,
Not against that.
even then, you could be labeled if it was like, I saw, I saw Brett out there throwing rocks at a stop sign again. It's like, I don't know what's going on with that kid. He's going to graduate to something more serious. You could now, it was fair game. You could always skip rocks at the lake without being labeled. Society was warm to that. That was fine.
I'm just talking about around the neighborhood. I didn't have a lake. We just had a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
And there were kids who just, man, it was a thing. Jesus, no, you didn't grow up throwing
Well,
them
I mean,
around kids who threw them. It was a
No.
big thing, man.
It was. And I don't know why. Because, if a lot of times you could just whip it at a tree.
Sort of like tag got boring, and so the little kids started throwing rocks at each other instead of running after each other.
See, you guys were throwing rocks at each other. Those were bad kids.
That was the thing, man. I was always told, like, don't
yeah.
hang
If I
around
was, I
them.
mean,
They
if
throw
I
rocks.
thrown
Yeah.
rocks, I could see throwing them at things, like at a tree or something.
What about crab apples?
Oh yeah, dude. I had
would
like
you
an
be
apple
labeled
tree
for
in-
that?
No.
Okay.
I had an apple tree in my backyard, and we chucked them bigly at each other. We'd grab those aluminum garbage can lids as shields.
kind of as a Captain America.
Deuced was in on this, man.
Yeah.
We absolutely beamed each
Did
other.
you whale Deuced?
Yeah, and he whaled me. I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you think won?
I mean,
Do you think your
we
arm?
did this many times. So
No, I know, but I
we each
think of,
got each
like,
other.
You guys are both decent athletes. I think of you as having a better, more accurate arm than Deuced. And so I'm wondering if that was at an early age you saw patterns where, it was 3-1.
I don't have a
beat him.
great recollection of me dominating Deuce. It was like kind of the good neighborhood kids who weren't into throwing rocks would come over and throw apples.
Yeah.
Which I guess was okay, right?
Yeah.
Throwing
There's
food.
something-
By the way, throwing food that could be eaten away.
Remember those kids that would fucking plant a rock in a snowball?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
those sons of
Whip
bitches?
'em at cars and
They're
stuff, yeah.
probably all incarcerated by now, but
No, we had kids who rode mini bikes, smoked, and threw rocks. Those were the bad kids in my sub.
mini
man.
bike riders.
Yeah.
I wanted one.
Oh yeah, desperately.
I wanted one bad, but my parents never let me have one. But you're right. If you rode a mini bike in our neighborhoods at that age, your parents didn't want you hanging out with that kid.
And I remember this one kid in particular. He was sort of like, from my parents' view, he was like the devil. Don't go near this kid.
Name?
Bad news.
Paul.
Paul. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't
Don't
me.
go near this kid.
Did I meet him? Did I
No,
know Paul?
he was older. He hung out with a group of kids, and just looking back, it's like, yeah, they're all burnouts, whatever. They're standing down there smoking weed, right? I mean, that's essentially what was going on.
Yeah.
But my parents, like, holy shit, don't go near Paul or his friends. Well, let me tell you, sir, Paul helped me one day.
What?
Yeah, I was traipsing through the creek as one does as a 8-9-year-old boy.
Sure.
And I came out of there and I had a freaking leech on me, dude.
Get outta here.
And I'm like flipping out. I actually
You know
was
it, yeah.
maybe even younger, man.
Yeah.
Had you
I mean,
seen Stand By Me at this point?
No, I hadn't come out. It's on my leg, and I'm just like, holy shit. Paul, this lighter comes in handy, dude. He comes over here, and I'm like scared shitless, number one. 'Cause
He's about to light you
Paul's
on
coming
fire.
at me,
Right,
right?
right.
Paul's
Yeah.
coming at me. I'm like,
Bad kid.
Bad
Yeah.
kid's coming at me. He's like, I got you, dude. And he like just held me still. He lit the lighter and put it toward my leg. I'm like,
And
oh my
murder-
God, Paul's going to fucking kill me. Dude, he held it against this leech, and it just dropped. He was careful. He was carrying.
surgical?
Oh. I was like,
See,
thank you, sir.
You've judged a book.
Yeah.
By
my
its
parents
cover.
did. My
Your
parents did.
parents did by its cover. In
Well,
reality,
they read the prologue as well. They saw some
yeah.
saw some
But-
weed smoking going on, some mini bike riding up and down the lawns.
How was your and Paul's relationship going forward?
We never really crossed paths after that. It was just kind of like
Did he went to Boysville or something? Juvie?
maybe. I mean, it's just my one interaction with this dude who was portrayed by my parents as don't go near that kid.
Now-
And he turned out to be a really good dude.
That kid in the neighborhood, right? Don't go near that kid. He rides a mini bike. Rumor is he's thrown some rocks and occasionally smokes at the park. So stay away. He's what we would declare bad news.
Yes. A bad egg.
When you see the bad egg in the neighborhood, a lot of times goes into a career as an early bully, picks on the younger, the weaker. Did Paul show signs of that? Because that guy tended to be rather unavoidable in the neighborhood. It seemed like he was always around and outside. And it was like, I got to go home. I got to walk past so-and-so.
Yeah, I definitely avoided that area. There were honestly, there was a lot of bad kids in my neighborhood. Like,
Really?
yeah, there's kind of a sketchy.
See, your definition of
Sketchy
bad
deal
kids
going on.
versus some other people's idea of bad kids, I think,
Well,
from your privileged perspective, yeah, they
Oh,
were bad
sure.
kids, but
no, I mean, kids like stealing bikes and, doing some bad shit as 12-year-olds.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the police were not real good at recovering stolen bikes either. I know.
I feel like they backburnered that a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why my dad etched his name and his driver's license number, as well as his phone number, on the bottom of all of our bikes.
Yeah, my baseball mitt had Bob Walters with our phone number
Didn't matter.
written on it, and
Gone. Nobody called.
yeah, I remember thinking at the time when it was like, we need the police immediately. There's been a robbery, and it's like, someone stole my bike, and I remember believing at the time that this is priority, like
It'd be like dusting for prints, police tape, the whole nine.
without question.
none
Like
of
the
that.
guys are like, we're on it, son. We'll get to the bottom of
They're like,
this.
yeah, come on into the station, file a report.
You file the report, and it's like, what are the odds of that finding this? And it's like, yeah.
Slim
We're
to
not
none.
going to do anything. So unless we happen to be walking by and
Good Samaritans, they're out there,
You know, maybe there's a change of heart and someone returns the bike to us and says, I feel bad, I stole this from some kid, if that happens. Otherwise, you might want to start saving up for a new bike. It was basically...
It wasn't your mongoose with the mag wheels with it. No,
No.
you left that one.
ditched that.
Privileged ass.
Oh, my God. To this
Remember that story, E?
Yeah.
So privileged.
Dude, I
that he just
didn't-
leaves his
look.
fucking sweet mongoose with mag wheels in some chick's yard and walks away. He's like,
No,
fuck it.
I didn't want to get to Hope's house. I had a crush on this chick. I did not want to get there and be on a bicycle. We were, like 15 now or 14, and some older kids were starting to fucking sniff around our, our talent pool, but they had wheels. And so I was like, I can't roll up here after grab bag guy with the jean, with the pocket in the front of his crotch, man-made, that said grab bag. on it.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He rolls up in a fucking, 79 Trans Am. What am I going to do? Pull up on a mongoose? No, dude, no. It's like I was in the neighborhood walking around, just taking a lap. So I ditched it, in this family's yard.
With no intent to go back.
Dude,
Ditched your bike, man.
yeah, I'd had it for years. We had some good times. I don't know where that son of a bitch is now, but hopefully someone gave him a good home after that. My mom's goose. Missed that bikes.
Hey, if you suffered a traumatic accident or injury, don't call the billboard or TV attorneys. Your first call should be to Ogden Legal Triage. Ogden Legal Triage will find you the right personal injury attorney for your case at no cost. They'll negotiate the best price and save you time, money, and hassle. Who better to help you find a lawyer but a lawyer? Ogden Legal Triage. For more information, go to firstcalldetroit.com.
See Ming, the tiger
Yes.
from New York? Yeah. How long do tigers live? I thought
R.I.P.
tigers lived a long time.
I don't know.
Maybe not one of those 200-year animals like the tortoise or whatever, but 19? Dies of natural causes at 19?
Jesus?
Talking about Ming, he's a tiger, and 500 pounds. Tombstone has been erected for this infamous New York City tiger called Ming, who died earlier this year, age 19. He was born in 2000.
16 to 18 years. in
Really? So
captivity.
they really are just cats.
Yeah.
Lived a
That's it.
long,
That's in
fruitful life.
Right.
In Racine, Minnesota, he made headlines back in October 2003 after he was discovered living in the Drew Hamilton houses in Harlem with his owner, Antoine Yates. It's a tiny little apartment, 500-pound full-grown fucking tiger. Since being rescued from the home, Ming has lived at Noah's Lost Ark Animal Sanctuary in Ohio. He died peacefully from natural causes. Ming was cremated and buried at the Hartsdale Pet Cemetery in upstate New York. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. Isn't that the way the song goes? I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
I don't know that song.
Come on, man. The Ramones?
I know.
After this, written for the Stephen King movie?
Don't know it.
A tombstone erected with the engraving, Ming, Tiger of Harlem. The inscription reads, legendary New York City tiger, raised in apartment 5E in the Drew Hamilton houses at 141st and Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. In 2003, after 3 years of living in the apartment, Ming was rescued by the authorities and relocated to Noah's Lost Ark Animal Sanctuary in rural Ohio, where he lived out the rest of his days in comfort and peace. Ming was loved by many. So, yeah, it all began in October 03. Yates, the guy, Antoine Yates that owns him, and goes to the hospital. He's like, oh, yeah, I was bit by this bulldog terrier thing. It's pretty bad. And they're like, the doctor's like, there's not a dog on the planet that can bite like that, sir. He's all fucked up with tiger bites.
Crazy.
Yeah. So they
What it was.
yeah, I was bit by a dog and stuff. No, you weren't. So the officers are sent to the man's apartment building. They go up to 5E where they're met with this huge tiger peering from the 5th floor window. Tiger was being kept inside along with 4-foot alligator named Al. Got to have Al there. Discovery set in motion a commando-style police operation. They drilled a hole in the front door and used a remote camera to watch the giant cat just kind of kicking around his crib, stretching out. Then an officer, ropes down the side of the building to shoot the tiger through a window with a tranq dart. Neighbors said they were not surprised to learn of this mini zoo in Yates' apartment. They told officers, yeah, we would hear roars
My God. Can you-
in an apartment building. Roar. You know how loud a tiger's roar is? It's pretty fucking loud.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be.
And at freaking New York apartments that are freaking, paper thin walls, small
yeah.
as shit. Like,
You know, anytime Ming gets worked up about anything, he's going to yell his head off.
So are these
But are you
things
gonna
just
go up to-
guarding a drug stash? Is that the deal?
Nope.
No, just pets?
They would also hear reptile sounds, and the odor was horrific. So
imagine.
I can imagine what
where's
Antoine
he-
was feeding this tiger, who never left the apartment. So
I was gonna
it must
say,
have been just shitting in the apartment.
yeah, what's he doing with that feces, man?
Authorities eventually found out Yates had purchased Ming from the Bearcat Hollow Animal Park in Racine, Minnesota. During an episode of Animal Planet's Fatal Attractions, he told showrunners that he loved having pets from a young age. Everything's unconditional. You love them and they love you back. Yates claimed the hell-on-earth environment in Harlem encouraged his passion to stay inside with his pets, away from the dangers of the outside world. One of my first exotic animals was a squirrel monkey. Then I started getting into boa constrictors and pythons. He says his family had planned to open a zoo, so he ended up pretending that they already had one to con his way into getting 2 tigers and 2 lions.
So is it that hard to just tell a zoo that, oh, yeah, by the way, don't worry about it. We got a zoo. It'll be all good
Yeah,
here.
no, we got to fucking, yeah, we
Can
got
I
a
go to
zoo.
the Detroit Zoo and just be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a few of these things
Yeah, we'll
here.
take your next cub, please.
Yeah, can I
Right.
take one of those tigers off your hand? Yeah, I got a zoo, of course.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
don't
Right.
worry about it. Zoo, it's awesome. He ended up getting rid of 3 of them, 2 lions and a tiger that he had in this
Shit,
apartment with
man.
him. But he was too attached to Ming to let him go. My relationship with Ming was very, very unique. We had a bond that was unbelievable. It scares me when I hear quotes like that, but Ming grew up to be 500 pounds, but the beast had never left Yates' small apartment, which caused him initial unhappiness. Wasn't taken to the sanctuary. He's like, "What's up with all this space?" He didn't like it.
It's been confusing.
To be close to such a beautiful animal 24 hours a day is magical. I imagine it would be. It does sound magic. I want a tiger.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. You know, the problem is about a year old.
Yeah.
They turn into adult tigers, and then their entire attitude changes. That's the problem. It's either 1 or 2 years old.
Go tiger.
They go tiger. Tigers go tiger. Lion goes lion. And all of a sudden, damn fucking, a billion years of evolution. And
Kicks in, man.
Kicks in, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm supposed to eat things like you. Whereas before it was just like,
It's the theme of the hit animated series Madagascar.
really?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Ben Stiller's Lion Goes Lion.
It happens to the best of them. There's nothing you can really do.
Does.
Their dangerous relationship emerged when Antoine's brother shows up for a visit. He doesn't even tell him. So this dude walks in. He says, I see one eye almost the size of a pool ball. I jumped back and shouted, "Yo, what are you doing, man?" He's like, "What the fuck?" Can you imagine just being greeted by a full-grown tiger? He says it was Aaron who found Yates after Ming's attack, saying he saw him on the floor shaking like he was going into shock. He rushed to the hospital. They were both too terrified to say what happened. Bitten by a dog. Aside from doctors absolutely knowing that story was bullshit, a neighbor also tipped off the police. This NYPD Lieutenant Eugene McCarthy recalled, "We saw a bed that was totally flipped upside down and it was shredded through. So this thing just fucking... And then we saw there were claw marks all the way up to the top of the ceiling." Detective Duffy was then lowered down the building to look in and admits, "I'm not going to lie, you have to be pretty nervous. This is a 500-pound tiger at the top of the animal chain. You just have to suck it up and be a man. I was pretty comfortable until I heard him roar. Incredible. Incredibly loud." Where is he? Yeah, there they are. Where's Ming? Let's see.
He's repelling
I
down
know,
the
but
side.
like we mentioned it when he talks about like that.
I took a shot and I hit him in the hind. That's his buttocks. He hit him in the ass. Look at us.
God,
Look at his hands.
size of those
Yeah,
hands.
Look at Ming. Just take a little napsy poo, Ming. You're gonna be all right. I hit him in the hind, and that's when he went berserk. Initially, he charged away, and when he hit the interior wall, I could feel the outside wall of the building shaking. That's how powerful he was. Then he turned around, he's like, you're the son of the bitch that shooted me in the can. And he charged at the window. All I saw was this giant head with a mouthful of giant teeth coming at me. Eventually, the sedatives took hold, and Ming was carried from the building. Detective Duffy felt compelled to reach out and just touch the unconscious tiger. And he's like, the fur, I just needed to feel the fur. I want to do that too.
I agree.
feel the
That would
fur.
be cool to do that. I'd have to.
Said this beautiful fur, an amazing creature. And so Yates spent 6 months in jail for endangerment while Ming was taken to sanctuary. His quote was, "Ironically, we were both placed in cages for the first time." Fair
Well
enough.
put.
Yeah, look at Ming. Yeah, that's Ming.
Yeah, those are great, man.
Hey, guys, that's me, Ming.
Detroit Zoo is working on a tiger exhibit, new one.
Are they?
Yeah, they just had that shitty one with like the fake boulders and shit. just one tiger who'd like
Yeah.
tuck himself back into
Dude,
a
it
little,
sucks,
you
yeah.
could barely see him sleeping or something.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be like floor to ceiling glass, so one of those where he can
See him.
come right up to the glass and
Like
shit.
the lions can be right there. I got
Yes,
some
yes.
amazing pictures
Yeah,
of
those
lions.
lions, as a matter of fact, came from homes like you just described, like a drug house.
I thought their tiger did.
No, the lions.
It's the lions. Yeah, there was some drug dealer in
Those
Detroit.
are the most funny to me animals because like everything else that we see, like a giraffe or some of that stuff, you don't like see that in minor stuff. But like when you look at these, you can look at your cats that you have at home
Absolutely.
and
See
be
the
like,
same
I
mannerism.
can kind of see like when he crawls quietly, like
Oh my God, their
Right.
mannerisms are
Right.
the same. It's so funny because we always joke about, wow, can we get a mini
mean,
lion?
cats are
and
mini-
and it's like, oh
Yes,
yeah, it's just a fucking cat, man. It's my fucking cat is a mini tiger. That's
Right.
all it is. And they'll eat you just like the tiger will. Get desperate enough. Another guy in some trouble. Universal Studios employee. Did you see this dude? No. He's been fired for pulling a white power OK sign
Oh, I did see this.
while posing with a black autistic 7-year-old girl for a photograph. So you got Tiffany and Dick Zinger took their daughter and son to Orlando from Colorado, where they live, for little family trips. One of the mornings, they visited a hotel where characters from Despicable Me are there.
This Gru.
Yeah,
Playing Gru.
you know, and don't you expect that from Gru? Honestly,
Gru's great, man.
He's-
You ever see those movies?
yeah. Gru's
fucking
he's
awesome.
despicable.
He is.
And so the two children posed for a photograph with two of the characters. When the family reviewed the image months later, they noticed that the Gru character
Oh, what a
standing there.
dick.
months later, by the way.
Yeah, standing behind their daughter performed the hate gesture while resting his hand on her shoulder. The OK symbol, as it is known, is popular among white supremacists because the news has told you so. Otherwise, you would never know what the fuck it is. It was
Right.
kind of made up
I mean,
a few months ago.
I don't get why he's doing it, but it's this weird thing where I don't understand why he's doing that.
So keep
but
going
it's
through the
not
pictures.
racist. I mean, that's the funny thing. Like,
Well, it is if he's doing it
Yeah, I disagree.
for that
I
reason.
mean,
I mean, why
it's-
else would he be?
It's been publicized this thing is an issue. Now, whether it
well, that's
had
kind of
that-
my point. I'm saying
whether
it's
it
just
had
odd.
that true genesis or not
Yeah.
in white supremacy. Remember there was a clerk or something sitting behind Brett Kavanaugh with just her hands
Yeah.
rested on her her thighs, and they happened to be in the oh my god, she's doing the OK symbol. It's like okay, dude, that was kind of a new thing. Like nobody had really heard of that. And whether
Yeah.
that is an actual thing, okay, let's assume it is. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter because now it's out there as a thing. So, I think he's doing this intentionally. I do.
I disagree. Well,
Is
no,
there-
again,
is there
I think
any
he's
other
being-
nobody
reason
can
why
crawl
you-
into his mind.
I think that he's being an idiot and trying to be funny, probably, or something.
maybe.
But my point is, like, it's a weird thing because it's not racist. I don't care what people say. I don't really.
I don't know what's in
okay.
his mind, but I think he's.
Right.
I think
Well,
he's making that gesture.
I don't know how you can even possibly say it's not racist. He's got a black girl here, and he's doing this. If he knows that is now has taken on the form of
Yeah.
of a known white supremacist, white nationalist hate symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't
if he
before,
knew
it is
that,
now.
But it's not. I'm not gonna.
No, but
succumb
but
to
it's
that
been-
image.
it's
I
been-
understand that, but
it's-
I'm not gonna succumb to that pressure that this is hate.
but I
Keep
think if
walking
you-
around, draining threes. Keep doing that.
Right.
I
Yeah, the-
think you
the
can
refs.
if you go, yeah, okie dokie, see you this weekend. No one's going to say anything. But if you're in a picture, just kind of,
Resting it on a black girl's shoulder.
yeah.
Well, see again.
Can you scroll down to that picture? I want to see the kid in the front because I thought I saw something with him too. So that picture, it looked to me when I was
Those
just,
minions, they're so funny.
yeah, they're good guys. Is he giving the white power symbol too? I mean, little black kid. Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know what this kid's up to, and that definitely looks more like the P in the white power to me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, I don't know if
Not
him
allowed
and
to do that
Gru had
anymore.
worked something out beforehand. I'll do it if you do it. But it appears that they're both giving the white power symbol.
You're right.
I have seen this movie or parts of one or two of these movies.
There's nothing.
Is
Come
there
on.
anything like that?
No, oh no! I thought you were
like-
gonna say it leans racist. Or something.
No. That,
No, this Pixar film does not lean racist.
no, anything
No,
that
I
was
don't-
like, okie dokie. You
I
know,
don't.
like the character always does the okie dokie sign or something, and now
If
it's
he
like,
does, I
fuck.
don't remember it.
So they've the family watched video footage and to make sure that was right. The Zingers contacted Universal World, and the employee who was in the suit has now been fired. It's more than the OK sign. I've been emotionally distraught about it. I'm still pretty upset
Can't sleep.
that
of
someone
course.
felt they needed to do this to children. It can cause emotional stress on my child and her development, Tiffany said. Yeah, if you make a big deal out of it, it sure
tell
You
her
can.
don't
about
even know what happened
Just
if you
delete
don't
the
mention
picture.
it in reality. Like,
Jeez. How about you just don't even fucking acknowledge its existence to your 7-year-old autistic daughter? She'll probably never pick up on that.
Pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. You can not ruin her fucking development in the least by doing that.
you could still report it even and still not have it ruin her. Like, you could seriously, you know what I mean? You could still call and say, hey, just FYI, this happened. And then just go away, but not have the discussion with the kid
Yeah.
that this happened. Like,
I do a lot of things my kids have no idea I'm doing.
right.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. Of course.
I did 0.
I know you just did the fucking.
I do 0?
Whoa,
Oh,
you just did
it's
double white
racist.
powers. Wow. You
Holy-
could have done this, 0, but no, you wanted to do the white power symbol.
0.
It was in your head, man. So they are not interested in financial gain from this. They're not looking for a windfall.
I would hope not. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I-
you would get out of like. I mean,
are your
$50?
damages?
Yeah.
Yeah, some free passes, I guess. Maybe
He was
or-
a dick. I want a mill. They have hired a lawyer though, because they wanted someone to be held accountable.
Honestly, damages are an often overlooked element of people when they think of lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, oh my God, we've been wrong. Yeah, but how are you damaged?
Yeah. What are your
mean-
damages?
Do you have damages?
I mean, they fired the guy. They
If
took
you have
action.
damages, we never want our guests to experience what this family did. This is not acceptable, and we are sorry. We're taking steps to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. What fucking steps are you taking,
I want to know
Universal?
what those steps are.
I need to know. Unless their steps are, look,
Listen,
we've decided that anybody that's employed here, we're chopping their fingers off so they can at no point give the okay sign or flip anybody off or give devil horns. That's one step we're reviewing right now.
There was
and
some
working
meeting with a
on.
manager that said, with his, his little minimum wage employees.
His minionsy.
Yeah, just going, guys,
come on.
oh, come on, dude. You're taking photos with
Did the
families.
come on meeting.
Right.
Come on.
We had a stern
Fuck.
meeting about this. It started with really, really,
Come
dude?
on.
Come on, man, come on. All right, end of the meeting. Get back out there. We got a park to open up. Come on. We had our standard. Come on, man. Meeting, and everyone understood that we were serious about it. No, I want to know what. Like, let's honestly brainstorm, kicking around the room for just a moment. What steps could possibly be taken to ensure that this never happens again?
just banning the OK symbol. That's it, right?
That doesn't guarantee.
Full on ban.
If they do that and say, we've found a way to make sure that this never happens again, we've banned the OK symbol from the park, I will go there, apply for a job, crush it in that interview, get the job.
Do the
and,
OK symbol.
Do the OK symbol for every picture I take.
Despite the
just
video
to
you
prove,
watched.
Thereby defining
not,
their
not,
ban.
not a racist, hate-filled bone in my body,
Just to simply defy their ban.
just to prove, no, there is no making sure this never, ever happens again. It's not possible. You don't know. There are douchebags everywhere.
It might just be a statement that was issued by a company to get
Yeah.
the
But I'm not seeing
down.
through it. I'm not putting up
maybe.
with it.
You're just a company.
I know,
trying to
but it's
get out
still
from
it is
under
still funny to like point out. I think, but you're obviously right.
Well, they're the ones that said we are taking steps to ensure.
It'd be
By the
awesome if
way,
there was a
also-
press conference. What are those steps?
I'd ask that.
sensitivity training.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That doesn't guarantee you won't
We
hire
had a
some prick
come
down the road.
on meeting with our staff.
Come on, guys.
Jesus, we're all just doing whatever. Can you guys just not?
Fuck me, man.
You all just
meeting.
want to do this fucking
Guys,
8 hours and get home.
I plan to come in here to the park today. It's a beautiful day. Put my 8 hours in, and now this. Come on, man. Like, guys. Now I'm
you
doing
go.
a press release. Now I'm taking steps to ensure it never happens again. You guys will be happy to know that, though, they remain in contact with the family, and they're going to work with them privately
Thank
to
God.
make this right. The family has so far turned down free passes, so that's not good
I
enough.
want more.
Yeah. Well, the lawyer does. I mean, he's not going to do it. He's not going to let the Seinfeld moment happen where they get free coffee. You know what I mean?
Tell you to put
Arizona.
the ball on? Did I tell you to put the ball on?
What's the lawyer's name?
Jackie Childs.
Jackie Childs. Arizona dad, a man from Arizona, has been accused of murdering his son. Son's 6 years old, Pablo Martinez. Lives near Tucson, admitted to investigators that he poured scalding hot water down the boy's throat from
Oh
the
my
bath.
God.
Hold on. You don't know Pablo's story yet, though. So he pours scalding hot water down the boy's throat from the bathroom faucet, holding him underwater for between 5 and 10 minutes. He's not entirely sure. Martinez said the child had a fit of unnatural rage during his bath. So it could only mean one thing. He's got a demon in him, and Yeah, so you can see.
Typically, you drill a hole in their head, wouldn't you?
That's
Allow
where
the
I would
demon to
start.
escape.
Yeah, but
We really have to go belt suspender approach and pour water down his throat and drown him.
he was already in the tub, though. That's where the latest bit of this
Convenient.
unnatural rage was going on. So he said, in the belief that the hot water was ridding him of a demon, and so his wife, Romelia Martinez, told him to stop upon hearing gurgling noises. She attempts to get inside the bathroom, but the door is locked. Martinez screamed back at her, "I have to do this!" Instead of calling 911, Romelia, of course, called her pastor. We've all, who didn't answer the phone. Convenient. He's not available. So she called police, and while Pablo Martinez performed CPR and poured cold water on him, that's what he was doing. He felt like the demon had been exorcised. It was too late. The boy was lying naked on a pillow and not breathing when the authorities got there. Police said when they arrived, he told the police, Pablo, look, you guys are not in the right mindset right now to understand what had happened, okay? And the police are like, When pushed further, he put his hands in and said, fine, I did it,
How small is this boy that he can lie naked on a pillow? Or how big is this pillow?
It could be a king size or a giant. You've seen body pillows.
Yeah.
Martinez told investigators that everything that had happened was a result of him noticing a demon in the boy the week previous. And so I don't know if it was just like, okay, let's see if we can live with the boy and the demon.
No, it was untenable.
His wife, Romelia, also said, look, the child had been acting demonic, okay? So she's got his back on this. She is saying he was acting demonic. A joint investigation between the feds and the Pascua Yacau Police Department is now underway, and I trust the Pascua Yacau Police Department. Pablo was arrested on charges of first-degree murder, so yeah, it's too bad. But you know what I mean?
It's a big misunderstanding.
This could be a great news story all the way around. You know what I mean? Like, say he doesn't rid the demon from his 6-year-old son. What does a baby demon grow up to be, Jay?
Well, where'd the demon go? Demon's out of the kid. He's floating around out there.
I don't know. Maybe he killed him. Does scalding hot water kill demons?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But if we don't do anything about the demon when it's young, it's going to grow up to be an adult demon, and
He's going to grow up and, like, I don't know, murder a kid or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, drown a kid in a bathtub.
Yeah, exactly. Demonic shit like that. And the last thing we need is one of those sons of bitch. They're way harder to rid the
Last
world
thing.
of. You know what I mean? And
How
you're
old was
absolutely
this
right.
kid?
6.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know how old the demon was,
Just,
though.
ugh.
Jesus, you got to get out of here.
Yes.
Okay.
Just not to be weird about it. Just a reminder. you
Oh,
gotta
we
turn
can
this
we
off.
can shut it down, dude. Jay's got to get out of here too. So, thank you guys for even coming by. I know it's a crazy busy day. Isis, I wish you luck with your bruised shoulder today. I hope you get great news.
Thank you.
And Jay, good luck with the rest of your work day. And tune in tonight for the Grind Time with Darren McCarty show. Chris Draper will be by the house to join them in studio. So that ought to be a lot of fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.